So, a very good afternoon to you all. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome to Job Grade IS. Here we are discussing the mains enrichment program, the previous year questions that have been asked in the UPSC Civil Services mains examination. As you know very well, the mains examination is continuously coming near and near, and it is high time that you must analyze the PYQs if you have practiced a lot of mock test and if you have not yet analyzed the kind of question that been asked by the UPSC. So I'm discussing the art and culture segment later on. By next week, we will discussing the question of world history, the post-Indian independence, as well as we have already discussed many questions of modern Indian history, right? Now today we will discuss. So yesterday, what we discussed? Yesterday we discussed a different question, which I considered one of the most beautiful question of mains examination, right? That how ancient Indian civilization, it was a comparison between ancient Indian civilization with that of civilization of ancient Greek or Greece, Egypt, and Mesopotamia right? And we discussed this comparison on various aspects, on various verticals, right? So we discussed the social aspect, we discussed the social aspect, the cultural aspect, we discussed the religious aspect, as well as we discussed the philosophical aspect. The philosophical aspects, right? How Indian society was way different and how it is, the most consistent civilizations of all time. We carried our culture, we carried our ethos since the ancient time, but this is not in the case of these civilizations, which are popularly known as nowadays the Western civilization, right? Even Western people are moving towards the study of Indian civilization again, because during the British time, our civilization was undermined and completely downplayed by the British. Right? British said that we are the people who are here to educate the uneducated and uncivilized Indians. Right? But after the independence, with the development of Indian art and architecture, not the development, but the institutional patronization of Indian art and architecture proved that our culture, our civilization, it is still thriving. Right? We can trace any characteristic of our society or our culture or our religious thoughts or philosophical thoughts way back to the ancient Indian history. The best example is Vedas, the Sanskrit, which is the language of Vedas, the mother of all languages. All the languages are originated from this language of Sanskrit, right? And we discussed that how still at present time Sanskrit is extensively used in our Hindu rituals. in our Hindu rituals, right? And there are many Sanskrit scholars from abroad who are coming to our country to study the Sanskrit, because it is a language which can decode a lot of mysteries of universe, lot of mystery of human science, lot of mystery of Vedas also, right? If you want to study Hamlet, if you want to study the works of Shakespeare in their original language, so you will have to well versed in English, and that is same in the case of Sanskrit. But the vocabulary of Sanskrit, the grammar of Sanskrit is much more extensive and comprehensive with that of English, right? So this is what we have discussed on different verticals, right? We have discussed thoroughly this question, and the question of the day is here. Discuss the significance of lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art and architecture. And you will be very surprised that this was a cakewalk. This was a cakewalk. But for whom? Who are actually studying the Indian art and architecture, not as a part of the syllabus, but as a part of your interest. Yes, this is true that in civil services examination, you will have to thorough read the syllabus. You will have to follow the syllabus thoroughly, religiously. But there are certain questions which checks your common sense, right? Your approach towards the question. So this is what they are asking. Discuss the significance of lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art and architecture, which means they're also asking about the mythology, right? The question is framed in such a way, but Indian mythology is nothing, because mythology means there are myth stories, and these terms were coined by the British, right? So anyways, this is a question we will have to answer accordingly. And another keyword was art and architecture. So there are two aspects. First is Indian mythology. So the principal keyword is lion and bull figures. Right? And there are two verticals. One is Indian mythology, and another is art and architecture. Right? So whenever you're discussing about, let us suppose you're discussing about the symbol of lion. The symbol of lion. On the mythological vertical. Right? So what lion shows? First of all, you will have to depict the meaning. You will have to decode the meaning of the symbol of lion. What the symbol of lion depicts? It depicts the lion is a symbol of strength. Lion is a symbol of strength. Lion is a symbol of strength. It's a symbol of courage. It's a symbol of royalty. It's a symbol of fearlessness. Right? So lion is a symbol of these things. And first of all, if we go into the mythology, if we deep dive into the mythology, so whenever you see lion, it's a vehicle of goddess Durga. It's a vehicle of vehicle of goddess Durga. You know very well, goddess Durga meditated. Hello, NG Nikhil. Nikhil. Hello, Nikhil. Can you show me some more comments of Naye sir. Okay. Divyanshu Singh, I'm not new here. I'm teaching since a sustainable amount of time. So if you have any doubts, please do let me know. Please do let me know if you have any doubts. So whenever you talk about the mythology, hello. It's me. Namaste. So whenever you talk about the mythology, loin is the vehicle of goddess Durga. You know very well about the penance of goddess Parvati. She meditated a lot to obtain Lord Shiva, right? And there is a famous story when she was meditating in the forest. It was a dark forest. A lion came in front of her, but she carried on her meditation, and this lion became attracted the power of the meditation, and he stayed until she opens her eye. And when she saw that lion became very weak, Now goddess Durga became so much powerful. She blessed the lion with infinite power, and became the lion vehicle of goddess Durga, right? So this is a very famous story. It is a vehicle of goddess Durga. Another point of mythology is the famous story of Prahlad and Narsingh, right? Whenever you discuss about the Hindu culture, there is a concept of Dashavatars. And the famous Dashavatar temple, which was constructed in Gupta era, right? So what are the Dashavatars? These are the 10 incarnated forms of Lord Vishnu. So Vaishnavist or the Vaishnavism sect believes that Lord Vishnu incarnate himself whenever there is a depletion of dharma. So he has taken almost 9 incarnation, and the 10th incarnation is yet to be born, which is known as Lord Kalki, right? So here in mythology, so whenever you talk about goddess Durga, first of all, you are talking about the Shakta philosophy, the Shakta sect. Shakt, which believes in the form of Shakti, right? Whenever you talk about the Shakt philosophy, the Shakt dharma, the principal deity is goddess Durga, right? And there are Nav Durgas who are to be worshipped during the time of Navratri. The concept of Nav Durgas, the concept of 10 Mahavidyas, which are worshipped during the Gupta Navratri, right? There are 64 yoginis, and there was a famous question that was asked in Civil Services Prelims 2021, and this was about Chaussat Yogini Temple, the design of the new parliament, right? The design of the new parliament, right? Sir Nikhil may be first year. Same Nikhil, मैं भी first year में हूँ. Okay Nikhil. Okay, you are talking to each other in the comment box. Okay. So there are Chaussat Yoginis, there are 10 Mahavidyas, there are concept of Nav Durgas, and the best thing is this, that Ma Durga herself is the principal deity and riding on a loin. So whenever you talk about the Vaishnavism, you talk about a man who is half loin and half human, Lord Narsingh. Lord Narasimha, who killed Hiranyakashyap, because Hiranyakashyap was blessed by Lord Brahma that you cannot be killed either in day or night. You cannot be killed either by human or animal. You cannot be killed either on earth or in air or in water. You cannot be killed either inside the home and out of the home. Right? So Lord Vishnu took the incarnation of Narasimha and killed him on his lap, with his nails. And what he said, that I am neither a human nor an animal. You are neither inside the house, you are nor outside the house. You are at the entrance. And my lap is neither earth nor air nor water. It's my body organ. You could not be killed by any kind of weapon. These nails are neither weapon nor any projectile, right? Nor any projectile. And he killed him. And this signifies what it signifies, because Lord Narasimha, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he incarnated out of a pole, out of a pillar, right? So this story signifies that God is omnipresent and God is omnipotent, right? Vaishnavism. What it signifies, that God is omnipresent and God is omnipotent. God is omnipresent and God is omnipotent, right? So this was the symbol of goddess Durga and the lion symbol associated with Lord Narasimha. One more thing that complete this point is, you're talking about the mythology, right? The best examples are goddess Durga and Lord Narasimha. And whenever you talk about art and architecture, you will come to know about a very famous temple, And this temple is known as the Sun Temple of Konark. Sun Temple of Konark. And this Sun Temple of Konark was constructed by Narasimhavarman. He was a Pallava king. I think he was from the Gang dynasty. Narasimhavarman first in Odisha. So the entrance of this temple, the premises of these temples are ornamented with the symbol of lion, which signifies the strength of the temple. And this Sun Temple, we will discuss its architecture. This Sun Temple is a masterpiece of Indian architecture as well as Vastu Shastra. Such temples cannot be produced multiple times, right? They are the architectural specimen. Next is whenever we talk about the art and architecture, next is Buddhism. So in Buddhism, lion is a symbol of fearlessness. Lion is the protector of Buddha's teaching. Lion is a symbol of courage, right? What was the Buddha's message? That desire is the root cause of all sorrows. Whenever you desire something and whenever you attach with that desire, automatically certain fears comes to your mind, right? And you became a person who lives with a lot of fears. And the teaching of Buddhas are enlightening you so that you can overcome your desires and you can overcome your fears. And when you are overcome your fears, you become fearless. You became an enlightened human being. You became a royal person in the spiritual world. You became a lion, a king, right? The king. There are many sayings, live like a king size, live like a king size. But all these sayings are in the materialistic context. You must have the bank balance, you must have so many Rolls Royce, you must have so many, properties. But Buddhist philosophy is quite different, right? Because you are getting all these things by your desires, and all these desires are creating fears in your mind. And what Gautam Buddha is saying, control, win over your desires, victory over the desires, right? He is not saying to surpass or to compress your desires. He's saying to get victory over your desires, so that you can be a lion in this spiritual world. As well as lion in the culture of Bodhisattva, in Mahayana culture, is the protector of Buddhist teaching. Protector of Buddhist teaching, right? Symbol of fearlessness. Symbol of fearlessness. Now let us discuss about the symbol of bull. The symbol of bull. The symbol of bull. What the symbol of bull signifying? What the symbol of bull is signifying? First of all, bull is a symbol of fertility. Fertility. It is a symbol of strength. It's a symbol of service. You can say the dedication. Right? As well as it's a symbol of masculinity always. Masculinity. Right? So, whenever you talk about all these two verticals, the mythological aspect as well as the aspect of art and architecture, you will have certain examples. You will have certain examples. So, first of all, let us discuss the mythological aspect. Mythological aspect. Right? So, you know very well that there is a famous bull called Nandi. Famous bull called Nandi. He is a vehicle of Lord Shiva and the protector of Shiva's adobe. Vehicle of Lord Shiva. Shaivism sect. Sects are mandatory to be mentioned in the brackets while you are writing the examination, mains examination. Why? सर हिंदी मीडियम से हूँ. हाय सर, मैं हिंदी मीडियम से हूँ. उमानाथ सिद्ध, देखो ये जो क्लास है मेरी, ठीक है, आप हिंदी मीडियम से हो इसलिए मैं हिंदी में ही आपको जवाब दे देता हूँ. ये जो क्लास है इंग्लिश मीडियम स्टूडेंट्स के लिए है, राइट? अगर आप ऐसा चाहते हो कि ठीक है आपको हिंदी मीडियम में क्लास चाहिए, तो आपको एक दिन हिंदी मीडियम में क्लासेस की मिल जाएगी. ठीक है, हिंदी मीडियम में भी आपको क्लासेस अवेलेबल हो जाएगी. बट ये क्लास इंग्लिश मीडियम में इसलिए है क्योंकि ज़्यादातर लोग जो है सिविल सर्विसेज के एग्ज़ाम इंग्लिश मीडियम में देते हैं. अच्छा, मैं ये नहीं कहना चाह रहा कि मैं हिंदी मीडियम को जस्टिफाई नहीं कर रहा, जस्टिफाई कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, ये हो सकता है कि आने वाले 1-2 सेशन में आपके लिए हिंदी में ले आऊँ. ठीक है, तो इसलिए आप चैनल पर बने रहना. ठीक है, एक बार और दिखा दो कमेंट. हाँ, आप हिंदी मीडियम से हो ना? और कौन सा बच्चा है, दिखाओ एक बार. इट्स मी, सेम, निखिल. ओके, नीचे कॉल डाउन करो सर. हिंदी में हाँ ठीक है. अगर आप हिंदी मीडियम से हो ना, अगर आप हिंदी मीडियम से हो तो आई विल टेक अप सम क्लासेस इन द हिंदी मीडियम ऑलवेज. एंड एक चीज़ मैं बताऊं कि कभी भी इस चीज़ से मत डरो कि मैं हिंदी मीडियम से हूँ, कि मैं इंग्लिश मीडियम से हूँ, कि मैं मराठी मीडियम से पढ़ा हूँ, मैं पंजाबी मीडियम से पढ़ा हूँ. जो आपका जो मीडियम है ना सिविल सर्विसेज में, ये मीडियम ऑफ राइटिंग है. ठीक है, किस मीडियम में आप एग्जामिनेशन को लिखते हो. आप सभी ने अपना ग्रेजुएशन तो इंग्लिश में ही किया होगा, क्योंकि ग्रेजुएशन में आकर के इंग्लिश मीडियम में हमारा आ जाता है. और दूसरी चीज़, एक चीज़ हमेशा याद रखोगे कि इस एग्जामिनेशन में राइटिंग स्किल्स बहुत मैटर करती है, और आप वही चीज़ें अच्छे से लिख पाते हो जो चीज़ें आप सुनते हो. एंड दिस इज़ द रीज़न मैं ये सेशंस इंग्लिश में ले रहा हूँ. ठीक है, मैं ये सेशंस इंग्लिश में ले रहा हूँ. अगर आप कहोगे तो आपके लिए मैं अलग सेशंस हिंदी में भी लेकर आ जाऊंगा, ठीक है। सो डोंट वरी कि यू आर फ्रॉम हिंदी मीडियम, यू आर फ्रॉम पंजाबी मीडियम, इंग्लिश मीडियम, ठीक है। आई कैन टेक अ बाईलैंग्वेज हिंदी और इंग्लिश, ठीक है। बाकी रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस मुझे आती नहीं है, ठीक है। तो हिंदी मीडियम वाले जो स्टूडेंट हैं उनको क्लासेस हिंदी में भी अवेलेबल हो जाएंगी, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट सेशन से हिंदी में भी क्लासेस अवेलेबल हो जाएगी। So, vehicle of Lord Shiva, never mention, never forget to mention about the kind of sects they were following. This is a Shaivism sect in which you discuss the various kind of subsects such as Kapaliks, such as Nagas, such as Naths, such as Aghoris, right? All sects had the different ideologies, but they were aiming a single deity, Lord Shiva, and his vehicle is Nandi, and Nandi is the protector of Shiva's adobe, right? Nandi is the protector of Shiva's adobe, right? He is the protector of Lord Shiva's adobe. Next is the again the Vaishnav culture or the Gaudiya culture, right? Gaudiya sect, which was started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, And there was a very famous question that was asked in the UPSC Mains from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Bhakti movement in India was revolutionized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave a different direction to the Bhakti movement, right? So we will discuss this question later. But first of all, let us look at this point, Gaudiya sect. So Gaudiya sect, what it is saying, that bulls are the part of herds that were reared by Lord Krishna, and this is the belief of Gaudiya sect as well as Vaishnavism, right? This is the combined fact which is believed and propounded, or you can say which is propagated by these two sects, right? According to them, Lord Krishna is the supreme personality. He has various forms. He is a cattle rearer, he is a warrior, he is a philosopher, he is a spiritual master, he is the supreme personality, right? And due to this characteristic, his cattle rearing attitude, he is also known as Gopal. Which means he is a protector of cows, he is a protector of their clan, hence he is known as Gopal, and that is the mythological belief. And whenever we discuss about the art and architectural aspect of this, you will have a famous temple. Let me give you the heading: art and architecture. So whenever you are giving this kind of approach, so the best example is Brihadeshwar temple of Tanjore, right? And this temple was constructed by Raja Raj first. He was a Chola ruler, right? And outside this temple, in the premises of this temple, you will have bull motifs. A big bull motif, right? So this is signifying the art and architectural aspect. And one more aspect is symbol of Pashupatinath. in the Indus Valley civilization. In the Indus Valley civilization. Right? So the point of bull is justifying both the aspects, the mythological aspect as well as the art and architectural aspect. Right? And most importantly, what you will write, the example of Brihadeshwar temple of Tanjore, which was constructed by Raja Raj first, the famous Chola ruler. And one more point from the symbol of loin, and bull combined, right? So the Ashoka Stambh, the Ashoka pillar, the Ashokan pillar, which has symbols of loins and bull both, right? Loin and bull. Loin and bull. Clear? So these are all the points. So let us discuss these points in the form of slides one by one. So how will you give a very strong introduction? Loin and bull figures hold significant importance in Indian mythology, art and architecture. These figures symbolized various aspects of Indian culture and have been depicted in numerous historical sites and artifacts. And we have discussed all the points. The Sun Temple of Konark, the Brihadeshwar Temple of Tanjore, their mythological significance and their art and architectural significance. Why I have done so much of brainstorming? Because I will justify all the points in my body of the answer, right? So body, loin and Indian mythology, loin in Indian mythology, art and architecture. The loin is considered the king of animals, represents power, strength and courage. In Hindu mythology, loin is the mount, Vahan, of Goddess Durga, symbolizing her fierce protective nature. Why you worshipped Goddess Durga? Why you worship 10 Mahavidyas? You need protection. Right? There is a famous story in Ramayana when Lord Ram was facing difficulties to victory over Lanka. He even worshipped Goddess Durga to obtain powers. Right? And that became a culture. When Dashera, the Tithi of Dashera is always celebrated after Ram Navami and Durgashtami. Right? Sometimes we celebrate Ram Navami and Durgashtami on the same day, but just after this we celebrate Dashera because Lord Ram obtained some powers from Goddess Durga and killed Ravan on the very next day. Next is the loin is also associated with the Hindu god Vishnu, who took the form of half man, half loin Narsimha to protect his devotee Prahlad. You know the story very well. What was the story of Bhakt Prahlad? He was not allowed to follow the Vaishnavism that time. His father Hiranyakashipu was a cruel man and he challenged him that if I try to kill you, will your God or will your Lord will come to save you or not? He said, my God is everywhere. You can check. So when he hit a pillar with his mace, a very strong mace, Lord Narsimha appears with a body of half human and half lion and killed him. And that this story signifies that God is omnipresent. No matter how much blessed you are not superior to God. And God is omnipresent, that He is present in each and everything and in each and every human being, whether it is other entities such as living or non-living. In Buddhism, the lion is a symbol of Buddha's teaching and is often depicted as guardian figure in Buddhist art and architecture. Right? There are two very important symbols in Buddhist art and architecture. One is loin, and another one is the bodhisattvas who are representing their different characteristics. But loin is a symbol of Buddha's teaching, right? Loin is a symbol of Buddha's teaching because these teachings are making you fearless, courageous, right? And depicted as a guardian figure in Buddhist art and architecture, this point is very simple, as I mentioned you earlier. Next is the loin is a prominent feature in the Ashoka pillar, a series of columns erected by Emperor Ashoka during his reign in 3rd century BCE. The lion capital atop the Ashokan pillar at Sarnath is now at national emblem of India. National emblem of India. And this symbol of you know the Ashoka Stambh, the Ashokan pillar, is a very famous rank, whether you are in military, whether you are in police, whether you are in any other paramilitary force. In military, it signifies the rank of a major, lieutenant colonel, and colonel. In police, it represents the rank of a additional SP, SP, and SSP, right? And in paramilitary, it represents the rank of a deputy commandant or a full commandant or a 2IC. So now the loin motif is also found in various Indian temples such as Sun Temple in Konark. You can see the loin motifs. These are very beautiful, the masterpiece of architecture. And this motif is what it is showing. It is killing an elephant. It is killing an elephant, which is famously known as the Gaj Kesari. Gaj Kesari, which means a lion who is so much fearless that even he is surrounded by the 100 of elephants, he will save himself and he will kill some of the elephants. So this is a symbol of Gaj Kesari also, because the Pallava kings and the kings of South India, the kings of Odisha as well, they were known as the Gajpati kings, and they assumed the titles of Narpati, right? Gajpati, right? So their ideology is clearly depicted by these motifs, right? So Sun Temple is an architectural masterpiece. It is in Konark, it is in Odisha, right? So you can Google about Sun Temple of Konark. Next is bull in Indian mythology, art and architecture. The bull is a symbol of fertility, strength and virility in Indian culture. In Hindu mythology, the bull is the mount of God Shiva and known as Nandi. You know very well about Nandi. Nandi is often depicted as a gatekeeper of and protector of Shiva's adobe, right? He is a gatekeeper and protector of Shiva's adobe, because Nandi, shown a lot of penance to obtain Lord Shiva, and that is why he is the mount of Lord Shiva, right? And can you if you have ever seen goddess Parvati, right, like goddess Durga, her Vahan is a lion, and Lord Shiva, his mount is a bull. There is no friendly relation between a bull and a lion, right? One is a prey and another one is a hunter, but they are living under the shadow of God, which means all the things which are happening in our world are under the shadow of God, but they are not as per the will of God, right? So that's a different kind of philosophy. I'll discuss it later. It's a mixture of free will and the destiny, right? The mixture of karma philosophy and the philosophy of Chavark, right? This is not our mandate right now. I'll discuss the Indian philosophy later. I've discussed it very well in my paid classes. The bull is also associated with the Hindu god Krishna, who is often portrayed as a cowherd and a protector of cows. As I mentioned, the Vaishnavism sect, the sect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is known as the Gaudiya Sampradaya. They consider Lord Krishna as the supreme personality. He is a lover. He is the greatest lover of all time. He is the supreme personality. He is the best cowherder. He is the best friend. He is the best warrior. He is the best philosopher, and he is the best spiritual teacher, as well as he is a protector of cows and their clan. That's why he is also known as Gopal. He is also known as Gopal. Okay. In the Indus Valley civilization, which flourished between 2600 to 1900 BC, the bull was a prominent motif in seals and terracotta figurines, indicating importance in the ancient Indian culture. And this point I forgot to mention, because I discussed about the concept of Pashupatinath, as if you see the priority of this question, the symbol of Pashupatinath is much more important than this point. Anyways, we are here discussing this point because the terracotta figurines of Indus Valley civilization and the motif of bull signifies the importance of this animal, both commercially and spiritually. The bull is featured in various Indian temples such as Brihadeshwar, temple in Tanjavur where a large Nandi statue is placed facing the main shrine, facing the main shrine. This temple, Tanjore, Brihadeshwar temple of Tanjore, was constructed by Raja Raj Chola. Right? Raja Raj Chola. So in conclusion, what we will write? In conclusion, the lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art and architecture hold significant cultural and symbolic importance. Very much symbolic importance, which are, you know, the guidelines for the future generations also. Which are the guidelines? Which are the guiding points for the upcoming generations. Upcoming generations also, right? So this was the question of the day. We have discussed this question extensively. Though the question was not tough, but you will have to know how to connect the dots. Some of the students feel very hesitated while approaching this question, that how we can, you know, mention about the mythology in my mains answer writing. The question is saying you to mention, you must mention, right? You must mention, because this is the demand of the question. You have no option, right? So maybe there are many Christian students, there are many Muslim students who are watching this session. They should know a little bit about the Indian mythology, right? So this was the session of the day. Right? If you want more guidance, you can subscribe the YouTube channel of Job Grade IS. You can download the app. You can join our paid batch, which is known as the Ignite Foundation batch of 2026. There are paid sessions, and they are, you know, much more exam oriented. This is only mains examination oriented, and in our paid classes we are following a holistic approach of civil services examination, be it 2026, 2027 or 2028 examination, right? So this was all for the day. I hope you enjoyed the session. Have a nice day. Keep working hard, keep hustling, and thank you so much.